You guys all have this in front of you, correct?
Fried, it's cooked.
Still.
No, what?
Still.
Who eats fried? One time I buried a turtle.
Plenty of people do in Peru.
That's Peru.
Well,
This is
Peru is
America.
crazy.
America.
This is
America,
This is
where we got
Iowa.
diabetes.
You don't eat fried grasshoppers in America.
Yeah,
You eat
America has
people.
diabetes.
You eat pizza.
And pizza. Cannibalism? That's sick.
All right.
Almost half
We
of
have
America
cannibalism.
has diabetes. America is the essence of diabetes itself.
I want to show you something right here today.
Essence.
All right, ready?
Okay, sorry, pay attention.
Okay, here we go.
Yes,
Hey
that
guys,
is that.
if you want to go outside tomorrow, we have to shut up.
Thank you.
Can we catch some
Okay.
animals?
Sure. I don't care.
Animals?
We'll figure
Sometime we
something
gotta
out.
test right
All right. Hey, let's get rolling here and talk about what it meant for us in the last section to be discussing what we call the law of slope intercept form. We were always looking at stuff and asking ourselves the question: what were the two big questions from the last section that you were trying to
What
answer?
is the slope?
What's the slope
What's
and
the y-intercept?
what's the y-intercept? So we were always dealing with general form being.
It was late.
Whoops. We were always dealing with the general form being, say, y equals. What's going on here? Somebody's been missing. There we go.
Is it true that if you cross a black cat, it's bad luck? That's racist. Or it crawls under your ladder.
All right, let's get
What's
focused.
that love?
Let's get focused.
I want to go outside tomorrow, so be quiet.
All right, you've got this y equals mx plus b is enough. A lot of stuff that we've been dealing with, right? Okay. You guys recall that when I said, you know what, when you get y alone, instead of calling it slope intercept form like we have been lately, remember at the very beginning of the chapter we said, if I want something to be in function form, y has to be alone, right? Well, as I look at this right here, is y alone in this? Okay, so the idea being that, yeah, we've talked an awful lot about slope intercept form lately. That's true. But since y is alone here, I could also consider this to be what we call, you might want to write this down. Consider this to be function form as well. Now, in that right there, in that function form, what makes it function form again?
Y's alone.
Okay, so we recall that, right, guys and gals? Y is alone, function form. Well, what's the title of 8.7 right here? Function notation, okay? Here's what I want you to take out of what I've got to say today. Everything that's here is all stuff that you've done before, okay? Everything that's here is all stuff that you have done before. It's just going to show up looking a little bit different than what we've seen in the past. Okay? So keep in mind, this is all stuff that you have done before, but we're going to kind of explore what it means to do, or use in this case, function notation. Okay? All right, here we go. First of all, by definition, right here, function notation says it uses f of x to represent the what? It says it uses f of x. You read that as f of x to represent the what? Output, and just the x to represent an input. You guys remember the name that I gave you a while ago? Roy Dix. Remember that?
Courtney does.
Right?
Yeah, it was
So, here's what I want to get at today. The rule. There's a big rule here. All right? If you have just an x in here, that x stays an x. All right? If you have just x all by itself, what's it stay as? What's it stay as? X stays an x, okay? Now, the thing that's going to be new for you today, and this is what's new, you're going to start seeing what we call function notation written as f of x, okay? What I want you to understand, every time you see that f, anytime you see an f or a g or any letter followed by parentheses with an, what's in it? X. This simply means you're basically writing y in fancy notation. So if you see f of x, or g of x, or r of x, or b of x, or l of r, or
like
P of
what's
S, or J of P. It just simply means what variable? It means what? Y. Okay, this is very important. That is very important. This is the big change today to what you've seen in the past. So guys, let's take a look at an example. It says working with function notation. I want to show you something. First of all, what's it say to let f of x equal here, gang?
fx equals 2x minus y.
Okay, so I'm going to do this. The first thing it says to do is find f of x when what? Find f of x when what? Okay, I'm going to write this first thing out. Okay, first of all, what's the original equation here, kids?
Can we just write y?
I'm going to show you exactly what to do here in a second. You bet, Terrence. Okay, first of all, watch what I have here in this first part. Again, the question says find f of x when what?
X equals -3.
Okay, here's what I think you should do. All right? As you're going through problems, I think the big idea is this. Understanding what's new up here today, guys. F of x is really a what? Y. If I had a letter in parentheses, another letter, that's always going to be your y value. So I'm going to go up here and do the following. I'm going to say, you know what? Everywhere where I see an f of x in my problems, what do you think I'm going to call them? I'm going to get rid of them and call them y. This is a y. This is a y. And then the second part of this is going to be a y. Okay? All right, so watch this. This is saying the following to us. If I have f of x is equal to 2x minus 5, how can I rewrite this equation again?
Y equals 2x minus 5.
Y equals 2x minus 5, right? In red, we're used to this, aren't we? Well, we understand how we go from function notation back into our function form.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to rewrite function notation as function form, keeping in mind that we're really interchanging f of x with what?
Y.
With a y there, okay? Make sense?
Fancy.
So let's do this. The first part right here that we're dealing with, it says to find, really this says find y when what?
X equals -3.
Okay, so in this equation that I have right here, what am I plugging the -3 in for, x or y?
X.
Okay, so let's do that. In for x, right? So you're going to have y equals 2 times what?
3.
What kind of 3?
Negative.
Minus how much?
5.
Okay. Help me out here, a little bit of arithmetic. What's the 2 times -3 part right there?
-6.
-6 minus 5 more is? -6 minus 5 more. Come on, guys. We're sharper than this.
What was the question?
-6 minus
I'm
5
sharp
more.
as a pencil.
1. Negative.
What?
A dull pencil.
Negative. How much? -11. Okay. Okay. So you should have that down on your notes there. Okay. Have that down on your notes. So again, today when we start looking at function notation, we're going to get rid of the f of x part, or g of x, or whatever the first part is, and we're going to replace that variable with a, what letter?
Y.
Y, and then work as we have in the past. All stuff we've done before, right?
Is that all we need to do?
Pretty much. Pretty much. Check this out. Check this out. Now, the second part says this. There's a second part of this, and I'll do this in blue. It says find y when,
X is
find x when y is what value?
18.
Ooh, careful. This is kind of a hard read. It also says, and find x, right here, when f of x, which we replaced as what?
Y.
Y is what value?
It's 13. It looks like it's 18 just with the pen there.
Is it 18 or 13? 13, okay. So let's do this. I'm going to start out again the exact same way. What was the original function in function notation right here? Well, it was f of x equal to 2x minus 5, right, kids?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like that notation. So we chose to do what?
Change fx to y.
So we're going to change that to a y equals 2x minus 5, right?
Yeah.
Now in that second part of blue up there, it's saying, you know what? F of x, or in our case, y is what value here? So is that 13 in our second example, part B right here? Is that going in for x or y?
Y.
So let's do that. Let's plug it in. Here we go. 13, the y value, equals 2x minus 5. And what are we left to solve for now? We'll have to solve for the y value, right? Okay.
Hey, her mom bought like 3 boxes of pizza toppers. I'm not even kidding. Like, we drop her off after school, and I went inside, and I'm like, oh, I want some pizza for soccer. And she's like, all right, I'll take 3.
How do you get rid of the minus 5, kids?
What?
How do you get rid of the minus 5 to solve for x?
You have to divide by 2.
Well, first of all, you would have to add. Got to undo addition subtraction first. Don't I have to add 5 to both sides first?
Yeah.
So if I make room here, what's 13 plus 5?
What? 13 plus 5?
It's a bad looking 5, I get it. Okay.
I thought that was a Y.
Yeah, it looks goofy, doesn't it? 5s would cancel over here on this side, wouldn't they, right here?
Yeah.
So what do I get when I divide by 2 now? What do you get when you divide by 2?
6.
Ah,
No, 9.
9. There you go. Okay, so we're introducing function notation today. I'm advising that you see f of x. That's what function notation starts with. I'm kind of advising that you change f of x to what variable? And we're kind of working back with y and x. Okay? If you make that change, is this understandable?
Yes.
I think it is. Okay. This would also then up here mean that, you know, if you're changing f of x to y, you should be in good shape. Okay. Let's have you try a couple. On your own, do those 2 right there. I would first of all change all the what? In this case, g of x, right? Not f of x, but g of x.
Change it to Y?
Yep. And then do what's asked and see what you come up with. Whoops, don't want that up there, do I? Hey, just give me a show of hands when you're pretty much done here. You got 1 done, 2 done. That's a good place for all of that. Yeah, oh, I'm sorry.
That's 6.
Here's what y is equal, this is your function, y should equal, y equals negative 1x plus 7, right? So right now, y equals negative 1x plus 7. That's your original equation, right? What they're saying is this is really saying that find g of x, but you really want to change it to say really find g of y. Alright, let's talk about this real quickly, guys. My suggestion is anywhere where you see g of x, change it to what? Y. Okay, so let's get rid of this. Get rid of this. Call this a what?
Y.
Call this a.
Y.
Call this a.
Y.
Okay, so let's read through what we got. First of all, I think it's a very good idea to rewrite your function in function form, y alone. Okay? So check this out. We're going to call this y equals negative 1x plus 7. Instead of the g of x up there, do you guys agree with the way I've rewritten my equation? First of all, the original one right here. Everybody agree with the way I've rewritten that?
Yeah.
I changed the g of x to what?
Y.
So it's the same function, just y is alone now, right? I put a negative 1 out in front of x because isn't that really the same as negative 1x right here in the equation? Everybody agree with that? Okay, so let's read what the first one says. It says find, what am I really trying to find here? Y when what?
X equals 4.
When x equals 4. So tell me what to do here. Yeah.
So you have to change x to 4.
You're actually supposed to take it out.
And then you times negative 1 times 4, and that's negative 4. Yeah.
So 1 times negative 4 is negative 4. Carry on for me, Mason. You're doing great.
Gotta look at this. And
It's negative 4 plus what?
then negative 1 plus 7.
Which is?
3.
Okay. There it is. 3 is my solution to that. How many had 3 there? Good. Are you buying on what I'm selling right here?
Yeah.
Are you picking up what I just put down there?
Yeah, I'm not gonna buy it though.
Money.
That's
You
waste
can
money.
Huh?
You can just give it to me for free.
If you're putting
Just
down
give me
money,
a
I'm
plus
definitely
on
taking
this
that out.
unit.
Just go ahead and
I
get
mean,
it
we
out.
already have to pay for
I'll take a B.
school. Why do we have to pay for
I'll actually be
math?
happy with a B plus at this point.
Yeah. I have a
I'm very happy with my grade.
Let's take what we've got over here in the second one. This really says find what now? Find what?
Find x.
When?
Y equals 9.
So I'm going to go back to the original equation again. Again, it said g of x equals negative 1x plus 7. But we're replacing this g of x with a what? Y. This is our start point. This is the equation I have to start with. So we're saying y equals negative 1x plus 7, right? Well, this time I'm telling you in this case that y is what value? Y is 9, right? Y is 9. So what are you going to replace the y with right here? What value?
9.
Yep, let's roll. 9 equal negative 1 times x plus 7. You guys agree with my substitution?
Yeah.
All right, and again, like I said, once we get to this part right here, it's all stuff we've done before, right? Once I rewrite it, it's all stuff you've done before. What do you have to get rid of first here?
Subtract 7.
So we're going to get rid of the German 7.
Yeah.
So I've got 2 equals negative 1x. What do you have to divide both sides by when you get to that point?
Negative points.
Okay, negative 1, right? So 2 divided by negative 1.
Yeah.
What is 2 divided by negative 1 there?
Negative 2.
Negative 2. So the solution here, x equal?
Oh, negative y. That's German.
Okay, negative 2. I think I started by saying, you know what, this is all stuff we've done. It's just going to be presented in a different way. We're going to go back to our old roots of doing something. Anytime you see f of x, g of x, j of p, b of s, b of s. Okay? What are you going to replace it with?
Y.
Why? Okay, Taryn, question.
So I can subtract on both sides.
Are you talking on the first one or the second one here, Taryn?
The second one.
Right here?
Yeah.
Okay, so the 9 minus 7 was 2. You okay with that?
But then so you divide by negative 1.
Yep, so this becomes 2 divided by negative 1, which is negative 2. And I can kind of go back and check here, Taryn. What I would maybe do is this. Think about it. Here's what I'm going to do. You with me, kiddo? Put negative 2 in now for x, because that's what we just saw for, right? What's a negative 1 times a negative 2 going to be? Negative times negative. Positive 2, right? Plus that 7 more. Isn't that what we wanted? Go with that? Okay, good question. Alright, so that's how you solve stuff like that, given function notation. So in example 2, let's try this. Let's check this out. In example 2, it says, hey, I need you guys to graph a function. Need you to graph a function. Oh boy, here's that big function notation band walking around. Big f of x. You don't understand me.
How is he 5
Say it in an Arnold Schwarzenegger voice, then I'll be taken.
What are you talking about?
The big f of x, it's right here. It's scary. Me not likey. Okay? This is like I've been driving a Ford around all the time. I'm going to trade it off for a brand new what?
Y.
Brand new Chevy, right?
I like 4.
We're replacing the y, or I'm sorry, replacing f of x with what?
Yeah, why? Why'd you buy one in the first place?
Why did
Ah!
I want the first
Smart people.
Ford F-150.
That was so bad.
Ford F-150.
Smart is as smart does.
I like the Chevy trucks.
Chevy's
Ford
badass.
F-150.
No.
Ford F-150.
All right, sorry. I'll quit bringing up vehicle analogies all the time. It just turns into a war.
Wait, why would anybody like Fords though?
Huh?
Why would anybody like Fords?
I don't
question.
really,
Okay,
I don't
I
get
like
why
them,
people
but then
care.
I don't.
If you actually
Fords are
get a
awesome.
car,
Like,
be
I
happy.
like the way they
But
look.
I want
God.
my car to go fast and not break down.
Hey, Fords do not break
It's a
down.
car.
At least not the
All right,
It's gonna be the idiot
focus.
that goes 200
Everybody up
and
here.
gets pulled over and crashes.
I've already done that, but I haven't got pulled over. I live with a cop. So.
Everybody understand my rewrite?
Yep.
Maybe
Replacing f of x with what?
Don't go 200 guys.
If I'm graphing this, isn't this just slope-intercept form here, gang? What's the y-intercept? -3, right down here. 1, 2, 3. There's the y-intercept, isn't it? You guys agree? How about the slope through that point then? How much you gonna rise? How much you gonna run? Okay. From this point right here, rise up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and run to the right.
Do you count the dot as 5?
Nope. We start here and then just go up by each block. So watch what I do here, Kyle. You're gonna be here. So I'm gonna go rise 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so just put your finger here. Start moving up. 1.
Yeah.
Good there.
Yeah.
And then run to the right. 6. And then, if you've done this correctly, this is what you should end up with as a graph right here, pretty much. Okay. All right, so you guys try that on your own. You're graphing f of x equals this mess right here, but this is really the same as graphing what function, guys? How are you going to rewrite this?
Y equals -3 over 2x plus 2.
-2 over 3x, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so slope-intercept form. Figure out where your intercept is, plot it, slope through your intercept, draw your line. You'll have it. Same thing here, Mel. Now look at this. This is hard things. Things like this.
Your mom died. Somebody like care about that.
I need to think. I remember one time I woke up with tears in my face because I had a dream I was standing in
sorry.
front of a restaurant and I was basket.
I mean, my mom got the people from her at work, and I tried to
I was like, in my dream, I was dressed in black at his funeral.
So did you get this mess all over here?
no, I don't feel like
Ew. What? How much water?
Volunteer to go up and grab that for me, please. Thank you, Mason.
Just saying.
I need the thingamajigger.
Oh, I'm
Go
sorry.
Mason, work it.
they need like a sock screwdriver.
You guys want me to graph it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no. Trust me, you don't know.
Oopsies. Too low.
Mason, what are you doing?
You broke it, Mason.
I got it.
You don't.
Where am I?
A broke it?
I'm scared.
You broke
Break
it?
your nose.
No, you won't. You're not that strong.
Something like that.
Can someone punch me in the head?
Okay, you get the idea here. Thank you very much, Mason. What's the y-intercept here?
Ow, ow.
What's the y-intercept?
Negative, no, 2.
Positive 2, right? Why did you fall down 2 units and then over 3?
Because it was -2.
Yeah, the rise is negative. Very good. I think we've got this. Okay, let's move on. Oh, another graphing one.
Yeah.
Do I need to do this or not?
No.
I don't. Okay, you know how to do this, right?
I won't.
You know how to do this, right? Just explain to me in the second one. What's the y-intercept going to be in the second one?
-1.
-1. You'd come down 1. And then from there, rise and run how much?
3 and the 2.
Rise 3.
Rise 3, run 2. I think we can handle this, can't we?
Is it working?
Okay. Guys, the last part, if there's any part that's difficult, it's right here. Alright? It says, writing a linear function given that g of 0 is 10 and g of 4 is what?
-2.
Okay, this is where things get kind of tricky, and this is where I want you to understand and pay very close attention.
Would the following students please come to the office? Peyton Sash, Heather Vaughn, Aubrey Mossman, Bobby Hilmer, Cody Edelman, Weston Krug, James Peters, Taylor McGowan, Kylie Clapp, and Connor Sherwin. Again, Peyton Sash, Heather Vaughn, Aubrey Mossman, Bobby Hilmer, Cody Edelman, Weston Krug, James Peters, Taylor McGowan, Kylie Clapp, and Connor Sherwin.
There's even a whisper, and it says who's the cutest couple in our school, and somebody put James and Star.
I saw that.
Nope, that's right.
All right, guys, keep in mind. Yeah, we got here in a couple minutes. I want to start this. I just told you if you ever see g of x equals what, if you ever see a g of x, it equals what?
Why?
Okay, right here, guys. Basically, what this is saying right here is that the x value right here. See how I have g of 0 right here? What I'm really telling you here is that the x value is what?
0.
And I'm telling you the y value is 10. If you ever see this notation, this g of 0 equals 10, this really means it's the point 0, comma 10. That just means it's a point 0, comma 10. So what's that mean about the second one if I say g of 4 is negative 2? That's really the point 4, comma negative 2. Okay? So I'm going to stop right there for today, but just keep in mind, tomorrow when we start this, when I say, hey, what's this g of 0 mean 10, what's that mean? You're going to say, well, it means the point 0, comma 10, Mr. Parson. Okay? All right, so I'll stop there. And